camel in the tent. Here I go again, yet another video about taxation. And it won't be the last. This time I'll start with a metaphor, an old story about a Bedouin and his camel. One freezing night in the desert, the nomad was tucked up, nice and cozy in his tent. Suddenly he felt a draft. Looking up, he saw his camel's nose poking through the flap. Now this was no ordinary camel because he could talk. "It's bitterly cold outside. Please, master, may I keep my nose in your lovely warm tent?" Being a kind man, he agreed to the pitiful request. On the next night, the camel's whole head was inside. Then, on the following night, the animal's head, neck and shoulders. By the end of the week, the camel had completely taken over the tent, and the poor Arab had been pushed outside into the freezing cold. The moral of this tale is that no good deed ever goes unpunished. And as for the metaphor, for camel, read a moralizing government imposing taxes, and for tent, read the wealth slowly but surely being stripped away from its owner. Give governments an inch, and eventually they'll take a mile. Never ever agree to meet them halfway, even over a small and seemingly reasonable minor request, for that will prove to be the first step on the road to perdition. To governments, the population is merely taxation in waiting. An example. On December the 3rd, 1998, the British Inland Revenue opened an exhibition in Somerset House on London Strand to celebrate the bicentenary of income tax. They proudly announced that the exhibition was open to the public and moreover admission was free. The irony of that latter statement was obviously lost on the organisers because December the 3rd, 1798 was a black day for the British people, a black day for the whole world. For the then Prime Minister, Pitt the Younger, had announced a temporary tax to pay for the Napoleonic Wars. It was introduced in June 1799. Income tax was to be applied in Great Britain, but not Ireland, at a rate of 10% on the total income of the taxpayer from all sources above £60, with reductions on income up to £200. The camel had its nose in the tent. Pitt's advisers claimed it would raise £10 million annually. In 1799 it raised just £6 million. Taxation and wishful thinking by the government inexorably linked yet again. A short-lived peace in 1802 led to the taxes' abolition by Pitt's successor, Henry Addington. But when hostilities started again in 1803, it was back on the books. The tax was repealed in 1816, the year following the Battle of Waterloo, but it was too good to last. In 1842, Sir Robert Peel brought the tax back, again as a temporary measure, and it's been temporarily on the books ever since, but at a rate far more than 10%. The Inland Revenue really had some gall to set up the Somerset House exhibition. Did they really think that their customers would join in the celebration of 2 centuries of tax collection at steadily increasing rates? And customers. They called the public customers. Customers have a choice. Taxpayers don't. All taxation is theft. It's the government obtaining money with menaces. Meanwhile, in the USA, income tax was first appeared during the American Civil War. Wars are always expensive. It came and went intermittently. However, when it reappeared in 1894, it was ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. But no way would the government let such a good idea go. It became permanent in 1913 with the 16th Amendment to the Constitution, although it must be admitted that the tax take didn't become substantial until after World War II. It had taken 80 years for the IRS Camel to become firmly established in the US taxpayer's tent. And then, as they say, the rest is history. Thank you.